Senate approval today of the new penal code came after hours of debate, in fact about the longest debate of any bill thus far in the Senate this session. It comes after 7 years of long and controversial work. It's described by Senate author Tati Santia-Esteban as a comprehensive, total system of penal codes which replace thousands of present state laws. They're simplified and updated. All crimes are assigned to one of 6 penalties: 3 misdemeanors with up to a year in jail, and 3 felonies which range from 2 years to 99 years or life. The death penalty and narcotics are being handled in separate legislation. Senator Walter Mingdon of Houston offered numerous amendments which he said would help control robbers and gangsters. He said, however, even with his amendments being defeated, that the new penal code is an improvement.
The first 4 to be charged were Ray Spears, Robert Lumpkin, Jimmy Don Harden, and Mike Struther. An initial bond was set at $75,000 on each, while investigators cleared up the facts of the case. 3 other people, Eddie Eugene Milliken, Frank Gursky, and Stephen Jack Dippery, were also charged with regard to the matter. Charges are pending against 2 other persons, a man and a woman. 4 of the men appeared before District Judge Gordon Gray this afternoon, seeking release on writ of habeas corpus or lower bond. Judge Gray took no action, deciding to wait until next Tuesday before he makes a final decision in the matter, so the men have been remanded to the Tarrant County Jail pending posting of $75,000 bond each. Jerry Taft, Channel 8 News on the Move at the Tarrant County Courthouse.
Well, we, of course, have always been very careful to study population densities and growths and impact as far as power consumption is concerned, because we have to have so much lead time in order to build a power plant. We can't decide today to build one and have it ready next year. It takes several years. And we have kept our eye on this, and here in Dallas, for example, while the population growth has been very, very small, the kilowatt-hour consumption or use per customer has continued to grow and double about every 7 or 8 years, and we really don't see that there will be any material change in the next 10 or 12 years, even though population may level off, that the growth rate of power use is concerned will continue.
Well, I never really lost any confidence. I just never had a chance to prove to anybody that it could hit. Both Rich Billings and myself, for an example, played in AAA in 1970. He hit 300 and I hit 300. He can hit and I can't hit. And that's nothing against him or nothing for me. It's just the way things go in baseball, and that's the way our society is in baseball.
You think that there's a definite place for you on the Ranger team when Rich gets well and comes back? Do you think you'll be splitting the duties now that you've proved yourself to a lot of people?
Well, Jerry, I don't think I had to prove anything to Whitey. I don't know whether it makes any difference as to whether the fact that I've been hitting has changed his opinion at all. He's the manager, and whatever he says goes. I'm not a door knocker, and I'm not about to go in and raise heck with him about I want to play and I want to do that. I'm just not that way. So whoever he puts down on the lineup, that's who's going to play.
Well, I was given the opportunity of coming out here for a summer with the idea of combining football and holiday for my wife and little baby who are out with me. And it was a great experience. And as you know, we play for 9 months in England. It's a long time. And I thought it would be great to come and see America and combine football as well.
How do you think the weather? It's going to be pretty warm in Texas during the summertime. How is this going to affect you in your training?
Well, it's not so much the training. I think we're sort of fitter than the lads, probably, because we've been going for 9 months. But already it's in the 80s, and that's sort of 10 degrees hotter than anything I ever experienced in England. And when they're talking about it being 110 down here in the stadium, it's just beyond my comprehension. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like, really.
Yes, as I say, the fellows we're going to enter, I feel pretty good about it. We have 2 distance runners that Bob Ayers got second last year, and he's had I don't know, some kind of cold or flu or something the last 2 weeks, and he's not full strength. And the other distance runner that could place very well has had a calf injury, so we're not in good shape there. And our long jumper has had a groin pull and is not 100%. But our mainliners, the sprinters and Sam, are 100%. You know, and I feel like that we probably won't make as good an overall showing as last year. Although we may score more points because I think Joe and Gene are going to run better than they did last year. I think last year we got 1st and 6th in the 100-220 both, and this year we have a chance to do better than that, 1st and maybe 3rd, something like that. So I've got us figured for scoring as many points, but we really should have scored more than that. I've got us figured about 70, 75 points, and I had really hoped we'd score 90 to 100.
It hurt us up until this meet. Of course, we're just going to have to run our kids this week and stretch them out and double them and triple them, some of them. And Lee Williams is running the 4 events, or we're going to try to run him in 4 events. But see, this week it doesn't matter. This is it. We got to make a showing this week, or wait till next year. That's the way it is.
You feel pretty good about it at this point?
I feel like I'm going into the conference meet this year with the best athletes that I've ever had since I've been at TCU, and just how they'll perform, and if they get a little bit of good luck, well, I think we'll come out all right. We do not have the depth now that Texas has got, and I don't believe we'll be a contender for the championship, but we ought to be in there fighting for a good place.
Hunters have gone looking for all kinds of things in Texas, but to our knowledge, this is the first time that hunters have gone looking for baboons, at least in the countryside around Seagoville.
Well, when we set up to come out, we really didn't expect to catch anything, although there still is an outside chance of us doing so. But we want to set up a type of, we want to come out here and sort of see what the situation is, perhaps find a location that these animals are in at this time, and maybe later set up a proper capture program.
That's right. I hope that I don't see no more of them. I'm getting tired this year getting called out at 3 o'clock in the morning and not seeing them but squirrels and possums, so I hope I don't see them no more. I hope they left Seagoville.
It's a funny thing about baboons. When you don't want to see them, they come around. And then when you go out looking for them, they don't show up. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News, on the move.
Much time, tears, and cash were spent a couple of years ago to determine whether or not the educational process would be disrupted by a few locks of hair brushing one's collar. In Irving, the question even made it to federal court, where 23 families filed a class action suit that would grant a student the right to wear his hair as he pleased. They lost. 2 of those students, Adrian Cumming and Dick Gray, went to Australia rather than conform their appearance to what school officials considered proper. Adrian is back in Irving now, after 2 years down under. His hair is longer, but not as long as his little brother's, who peacefully attends junior high with shoulder-length curls. Adrian isn't bitter about his experience, just the opposite, in fact. Across the street from Irving High, we discussed how he feels now.
It'd be pretty ridiculous to hold a grudge for so long anyway. You know, I think all of us concerned learned a lot from that experience 2 years ago, and there's no reason to be bitter anymore. I think it was a very, very helpful experience for both sides. We learned that long hair isn't something by which you should judge a person. You know, it's the person himself or herself that that other people can go on, and it's not their personal appearance that we should let stand in our way.
How do you feel when you see your little brother and all the rest of the kids going to school with hair longer than yours is?
Well, I guess I could say we feel like we've accomplished something by starting the hair issue 2 years ago. But there again, it was inevitable that the kids began to groom themselves the way they want to groom, and I think that's great.
What are you going to do now?
Well, as soon as I begin to feel more and more into America, I'll be getting into my own business. In fact, I've already started the foundation for my own business here.
Are you going to finish high school?
No.
Why not?
Well, I'm sure I missed a lot of things that high school could have offered me, but I feel that if you're interested enough in something, if you're interested enough to learn, then you don't really need an institution. You don't really need a teacher to teach or guide you along. If you have the enthusiasm and if you have the desire to learn something, then you'll be able to do it on your own.
Well, good luck and welcome back.
Thank you very much.
A fitting place to have a new...
Is because of the good time that is given to a man, I or a police officer of something. However, if the accusation Jones 2 or 10, that's all it does. It just clarifies the language. That he has the right to give you 5 years or 7 years or 8 years.
1/3 of the maximum permissible term as authorized by law.
That's all right. There you go. You're guaranteed to ride a plane. It's not supposed to be. You don't want to come on right over.
sure as you do, someone will say something
that's
about
right,
it. So,
that couldn't be. Yeah. It's scheduled to go into operation in 1980.
Now, what will it do to the...
You mean while I'm talking right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, I'll tell you.
That uses either one.
Yeah. It's
out there for the future?
Oil, yeah, we're putting in fuel oil tanks there, and but this is a rather...
They're very, very frustrated. It's really, really a shame. I got there in this postal clerk out here down to here, I wanted to mail a letter, Looked at him, I was like...
I imagine so.
Well, how long were you in Canada now?
I was 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Yeah. Well, that's enough probably just to pick up a little bit.
Whatever that question was that I asked you a while ago that I repeated.
Didn't you ask about... toned down in this pay, see, since they've been brought up, since they've been born in that country, right? That
She won't walk.
no.
I sure do, and I'm going to vote for it, but I'd just like to see it a little more stringent. And in the next session, I'll introduce these amendments as bills and try to get them put onto the penal code to make it more stringent.
The House has approved a bill aimed at problems in bail bonding. It's already passed the Senate, and after a formality vote in the House, will go to the governor within a couple of days. House author Bob Hendricks of McKinney explains the purpose.
They will set up a bail bond board composed of the sheriff, the district judge, the county judge, the judge of the county court at law, and the district attorney or his designee. It is supported by your district attorney in Dallas. It alleviates a problem you've had there in Dallas County recently, in which a corporation went defunct and they could not pay off on their forfeitures.
There are still piles of bills to be considered by both houses of the legislature and only 13 days left to do it. Many legislators are getting nervous, and the pressure is evident in nearly everything that's done here in the Capitol. This is Roger McDonald, Channel 8 News on the Move in Austin.
He gets through with it.
initially started off this campaign of our organization, the reason what it was for was to find out why Chief Green was fired approximately 10 days ago. We didn't feel that it was justified. The remarks that we heard were somewhat rumors that he had been playing politics, and that the commissioners have been trying to get their point across for some time, but we haven't been able to find out what point that is. Because of this reason, we instituted several research attempts to find out why he was fired. And we've asked the city manager, we've asked the commissioners concerned repeatedly times. The only answer they give us is no comment.